I wanted to shoot a quick video on the process of achieving what's referred to as a high intensity interval training workout. Now on the screen you can see a series of peaks and valleys, and then on the bottom you see what I refer to as an M2 focus card. Long ago, when I started this process, I developed this strategy as a tool to get ready for a competition, and what it allows me to do, or anybody that uses this protocol, is to get the most from the workout that they're doing at that particular moment. So, attending to the top portion of the diagram, we're looking at a 30-minute workout. Now, this can be applied on equipment. This can be applied, and when I say equipment, I mean, step mills, treadmills, rowers, anything in the gym or in an outside environment, doing threshold training and then breaking out into a sprint, maybe on a flat surface, or picking a particular hill. I use a standard hill here in Long Beach. I've been using it for about 30 years down at the Bluff. Probably one of the most recognized areas right now to do outdoor boot camp. While doing the high intensity interval training, our goal is to accomplish the most amount in the shortest period of time. Now, I want to preface this by saying you want to be in relatively good shape before you try to do this. You can do this as a beginner, but it'll be on a junior level, and using a simple tool like a heart rate monitor, it'll allow you to track the amount of calories that you burn so that you can record what your results were with each of the hills or each of the sprint intervals. Now, if you look over here at the left side from the warm-up section, this could be typically walking. It could be the mobility drills that we typically do, and then going from the mobility drills into the traveling stretches, and then going into your warm-up. And the warm-up could consist of, let's say we're using a treadmill in a gym, and we have it on the flat surface, and our heart rate here is indicated at 120 beats a minute or so. We have our pace set up. We have the manual feature on that piece of equipment, whatever it is that we're using, so that we can control the intensity level, meaning we can add or take away resistance. So as we do the workout, after the warm-up, we start, and after 5 minutes, we'll use and do our first peak. And now I do something called a build-up, where I might not go 100% on the first build-up. Now you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 peaks here, and this may take as much as 3 minutes per rep, because the amount of effort put into each rep is really challenging. So by the time you recover after you've warmed up, you're going to be going a lot faster on the back end than you start out doing these on the front end. So typically the process is you go through the warm-up drills, you go through the warm-up itself on that piece of equipment. So the first round on the treadmill, set to manual cycle, you're going to increase the speed, possibly in the flat, 0-0 as far as the height of the incline of the treadmill, and you're going to start going from a 4.0, maybe 3.5 pace, and then increasing it to somewhere around 4.5 to 5.0 to give you a light run. And you'll do that light run jog for whatever length of time it takes for you to get to that place where you feel fatigued. A novice is going to feel more fatigued than someone who's more experienced, but then after approximately 2 minutes, and if you're going really fast, obviously you're not going to be able to do that, so strive for 20 to 30 seconds on this peak. And then at the top of that peak, or top of 2 minutes, drop it back down to the pace at 3.5 or 4.0 until your heart rate goes back down from as high as 180 beats per minute back down to 120. And then from this position here in the basement or the valley, once your heart rate achieves 120 once again, you're going to take off in that sprint. Now this rep 1, rep 2 is going to be faster. And once we get through this particular peak, building up into that pace, either running or sprinting, for anywhere from 30 to 120 seconds, we get here, we feel our heart getting ready to jump through our chest at 120. or so, or 180, excuse me, we drop it back down to a walking pace on the treadmill. And we'll peak out and come back down to the walking pace the entire time that we do this. Now, this is only 5 reps. As you become more conditioned, as you experience the build-up phase and are much warmer, these last peaks, which could be another 5 additional peaks for 10 total peaks, and as many as 30 or maybe even as low as 20 seconds in the burst, you will experience your workout of high-intensity interval training. Now, as we get ready to release this next phase in the Project Fat Loss, this will become part of the interval training that you do, called high-intensity interval training bursts. And I do them, and I refer to them as 10 20s. 10 20s, 10 reps of 20-second bursts. This is a traditional high-intensity interval model, and this can be applied to anybody as a beginner all the way up to super advanced. The super advanced will go with the 10 20s to achieve the ultimate fat loss. Now, once you're conditioned with this, obviously you can go harder and harder as you become more experienced. I strongly advise doing the build-up technique and do not break into your top speed on these first 2 or 3 reps. You want to slowly pick up your pace, get the body adjusted to what's getting ready to happen before you make these all-out efforts in reps number 4 through 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Now, on the bottom of the diagram, you see the M2 focus card. I used to use 3x5 note cards to track what I did, and I would stick it on a magnet to the refrigerator, and I would see what was coming and what I did the last workout. The big challenge for everybody is that they throw their heart rate monitor on, they go out and do the workout, and they don't really have an idea of what they need to shoot for. So they may have done, for example, a run on Monday, and they ran for 40 minutes, and in that run they burned 315 calories. Now, going according to our protocol, we're looking for 10 to 15 calories per minute. We can see that this is not quite what we needed to do on that run, and we want to beat that run the next time we decide to do a run. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to fall on the next Monday. It could be the next time we do a run workout on a Saturday. And when I say run, I'm utilizing either high intensity interval training or the 10-20s here, or I'm also referring to threshold training where you just run at a constant pace. And each time what you want to do is take the total amount of calories, divide it by the time that we went to establish how many calories per minute we burned. And then plan it on your note card or whatever device you plan to use to track what's going on, so that you can look back at the previous time you did that run, or you did a treadmill workout, or you did a spin class, or you walked, or you did the super cardio classes that I used to do. Anything that gets your heart rate pounding into that target heart rate range. Look for the opportunity to see what you did last time and meet it or beat it by 1 or more calories. Eventually you'll get into that range of the 10 calories per minute, and then your goal will be to strive on meeting or beating every single time you train what you did previously. Now, what will happen at this stage is, one, you'll either get just so psychologically beat up because you're doing so many hard workouts that you just want to go out and do plain cardio. And that does happen. So give yourself a PR goal, personal record with your cardio, with a specific type of cardio, either initially on the front end where you seem to beat it every time you do it, of at least 1 time per month of beating your personal PR. Eventually these numbers are going to climb so hard or so high, and eventually your conditioning is going to get so good that you're going to have a really challenging time. And you'll notice as you get more fit, it gets really hard to beat those 10 calories a minute because your heart and lungs become much more efficient. So the side story here, however, is if your goal is fat loss and getting in better and better shape, the magical thing happens is while we're spending all of our time and energy trying to beat a number that we did before, we look in the mirror one day and just see an absolutely peeled, beautiful body that we've been striving so hard to achieve. So this is really a good tool. I've been using this for several decades. I think it's a great way to help you learn about your body. Use a heart rate monitor, use the system with a focus card. It's definitely a lot faster. And when your battery on your cell phone dies, you know that note card will be right on your refrigerator door with a magnet. So I'm pretty old school with that. This is my high intensity interval training with my discussion on the reps and the bursting that we use, and the use of the focus card to track your workouts. Stand by for some of the other elements within the fat loss project so that you can get the best from your training throughout this tail end of the year as we get ready for the next new year.